questions for Jordan? Go ahead, Walt.
Jordan, I'm sure an interesting last 12 days, 2 weeks. What was the whole situation like through your eyes?
Yeah, it kind of happened quick. I mean, I was kind of having the conversation with my trainer before the Canadian trip about boosters and stuff like that, and yeah, it kind of hit us hard there quick, and it kind of surprised me. And I've already had it, but it was wasn't expecting to get stuck in my attic for another 10 days. But there I was staring at the same four walls and about ready to lose my mind. But it was interesting, unfortunate, and it is what it is. Where we're living in right now.
Chip?
Yeah, Jordan, as a team captain, just what were your thoughts on watching the team win those two games? One game, obviously, two guys short, and then with the call-ups, and they didn't really miss a beat and played well in both games. Absolutely.
Everyone played really well. Obviously our regulars and the kids coming up, and it was well said by the Big Rig and Tripper how our depth and our team isn't just the guys we have up here. It's the kids learning the game down there and understanding what it takes to be a Cane, and it showed. It made a pretty easy transition for a lot of those guys to come up and play really well and get 4 big points for us.
Mike Tober?
Hey, Jordan, I want to ask you, after having the NHL take a couple of days off there, and I know obviously you had some time off, what is your reaction to getting things going ramped up again, even though it seems that this COVID is getting worse, and even though you guys had a pause, people are still testing positive as you guys get set to play games again?
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. Obviously, at some point, we're going to have to find ways to live with this and really just find ways to play games and do what we do as a job. I think guys are pretty mild sickness, and they're moving through it pretty quickly, and I tested out of it fairly quick, which was good. And it's interesting. It's tough, but I think moving forward here, we're going to try to play as many games as we can, and continue to live the way we want to live.
Patrick?
Anything of note from your quarantine that you'd like to share that you just tried to find some entertainment or some solace in those moments?
Yeah, there was a couple rough days. I think we had a quarantine group. We were texting with each other. I think it was a rainy day in Raleigh, and it was one of the early days of the quarantine. So we were all mentally in one there for a bit. But I have an attic in my house, and I was kind of stuck up there. I got some toys and stuff to kind of hold you over, but it makes it a little bit more difficult when you hear your kids run around below you and you can't go down and see them. And your wife obviously was gone for, I think, 33 of the last 38 days or something. So she was on her last straw. So it was, it was tough in that regard. But I think the guys moved out of it pretty quickly.
Gibby?
Yeah, Jordan, how did you feel during this time? I mean, did you feel like you could still play? I mean, kind of explain, what the feeling, because I know you've had it twice. The first time you couldn't, but what's the feeling like the second time?
Yeah, I think this one felt a little milder to me than the first time. Obviously, with the vaccines, it helps, I'm sure. I think, I skated that morning skate in Minnesota. By no means did I feel fresh as a daisy, but we also just played, a back-to-back traveling across the States and in Canada, and so I wasn't really expecting to feel all that great, but I was ready and willing to play that night. Obviously, the rest of that day, some on and off chills and stuff, but kind of went away the next day, and in a pretty tough cough, I guess, after that. But other than that, it was fairly mild.
Last one, Walt?
Yeah, Jordan, you had said earlier that things kind of transpired really quickly, and then all of a sudden it felt like everybody was coming back to Raleigh. What does it say about the organization's commitment to getting the guys back home for the holidays, especially considering some of the extracurricular extracurricular circumstances with some of the guys being in Canada and, coming to get you guys and ensuring you were the first priority?
Yeah, there was a lot of moving parts to that one. Obviously, I still got to thank Sonny and the rest of the crew for that one, and obviously Tom especially. And it was definitely nice to be home and to get home. It would have been tough, obviously, even for those guys in Canada and the extra few days they would have had to spend there. So we're glad we got everyone home and kind of moving forward and just resting at home is definitely a much better feeling than being stuck in a hotel in the middle of nowhere. So it was nice, and a lot of guys to thank for that.
All right, thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.